Oh, my goodness.
Dabo, Scott Keefe with the Greenville News. Now, let me take you back in time a little bit. I'm just curious about what you recall from that fateful loss at Wake Forest way back in 2008 and how it may have altered not only your career path, but Coach Tommy Bowden's as well.
Well, I just remember very well we could not score a point. We were not very good offensively, and it was just a struggle. I mean, it was just a struggle. Wake was pretty good, and we just couldn't really get anything going to help our defense that night. I don't even remember the actual score, but I just know we couldn't. I know we couldn't score.
If you had won that game, if Clemson wins that game, are you coach at Clemson now, and where is Tommy Bowden now?
Man, I don't know. Who knows? I have no idea. It's just
fate.
God's plan. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Coach, Boston's offenses usually go very fast. How important will it be, just subbing personnel on defense? You're going to have a lot of young guys playing, both that and just being able to get their offense off the field and get some 3 and outs to keep that high tempo off the field.
Well, that's critical. If they're going to go fast, they led the country last year in plays per game. So, the key for us is to try to, get those 3 and outs. And, we practice with no huddle. So that, to be honest with you, that shouldn't be that big a deal for us just because we're a no huddle defense. But, if they sub, then we have to have the opportunity to sub as well. And the refs control that. But it's a challenge. I mean, they do a good job. And, we've practiced hard at it. And now we just got to take it to game day.
Dabo, this is Matt Connolly with the State. What was it like? You guys putting together the Drake video, and what did you think of the way that turned out?
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't know anything about it until literally the day before it was finished. They had already done everything, and then they brought it to me and wanted to kind of, I guess, get my approval, I guess, and then they wanted me to kind of be in it right there at the end. So it was fun. Our guys they're super talented, and our social media team here does an amazing job. And, those guys were just having some fun, and it's pretty cool. I know apparently Drake saw it and tweeted it or whatever. So, pretty cool. Bunch of guys just trying to have a good time and showing their creativity.
Dabo, Gary from Clemson Sports News. In the past few days, you've had 2 ex-players, former players, now become the highest paid in their position groups of all time in the NFL. What does that say about your development there, your program, and the kind of players you're putting out?
Well, it definitely says that we've recruited, really good players, and we have a great program here when it comes to development. I think since I've been the head coach, I think we're maybe 2nd in first rounders and 3rd in draft picks, something like that, or vice versa. So that's always a great thing, especially in recruiting. But at the end of the day, the credit goes to the players. They got to put the work in. And those 2 guys, hey, we helped them certainly, and help them, have the resources they need, and put other good people around them, and put them in good schemes and things like that where they could shine. But it still comes down to them. Those guys have to put the work in, and the weight room. And you think about Nuke Hopkins when I first met him, he was about 170 pounds, maybe. And watched him his whole life. But when he came here, he was a beanpole. He had a lot of work to do. He doesn't get where he is without putting the work in. This is a game of performance. It's not a game of potential. And you have to earn it. And the performance comes through putting the work in. Those things go together. And, man, he worked hard in the weight room. I think he left here maybe about 212 pounds, really transformed his body and, grew as a receiver. He was more of an athlete when he got here. Great basketball player, great safety, could have been a great safety, could have been he could definitely be an NFL safety. Tough, but had to really develop as a receiver. And, we certainly, helped him get a foundation, but man, he became a craftsman and he put the work in to being great. The same thing with Deshaun. Certainly blessed, both those guys, great skill sets. Deshaun was 180 pounds, and, our strength conditioning and nutrition, all those things, and what was around him here helped him be successful. But their work ethic, their efforts, their heart, their grind, their willingness to be coached and to just, work on the little things at their position, become more knowledgeable. That's how they've gotten where they are. So we had a little part, but the credit goes to those two guys, and their families. I'm super happy for them, and more to come from both those guys. They're still young guys.
Hey, Coach, a lot of these environments, by the way, Lawton Swan, Clemson Sports Talk, a lot of these environments have been kind of sanitized, and obviously knowing that there's not going to be fans there. At the end of the day, do you think the bigger communication, advantages for the offenses in this game or the defenses? Where do you think that lies?
I have no idea. This will be a first for me. So you asked me that question after the game, I guess. I really don't know. We practice with noise every day. We practice with music every day. So, it's, again, I prefer it to be loud, to be honest with you. That's more normal. I know when we're here at home, it's loud. When we're on defense and when we're on offense, our fans they kind of know how loud to be, but it's never just quiet. And it'll be the same thing. And, apparently we have to meet before the game and decide on what the minimal decibel level is supposed to be when the quarterback is getting ready for the snap. So, I'm not getting into the weeds on all that stuff. I really don't care. They can play music the whole time for all I care. I'm just happy we're getting a chance to play, and it's our job to execute regardless of whether it's loud, quiet, raining, cold, hot. It don't matter. And that's our focus.
Dabo, have you talked to Chase Brice at all, and what kind of year are you expecting out of him?
Yeah, I actually talked to Chase 2 days ago, as a matter of fact. So just touch base with him, congratulate him on winning the job, and just caught up with him, talked to him a couple times back in the spring and early summer, but had not talked to him since he got into camp and won the job. But listen, Coach Cut's been doing this a long time, and you go win that job. You've had to win it. And so I'm really happy for him, proud of him, that he went in and took his preparation and was able to go win the job. Now it's just go play on game day. And, I don't know much about their team or personnel right now, but I know a lot about Chase, and I know he'll be well prepared. He'll be ready. He'll lay it on the line for his team, and he'll give them a chance to be successful. No doubt about it.
You always kind of compare National Signing Day to Christmas morning. Considering everything that we've been through and we're within 73 hours of kickoff, is there anything that you can compare what it'll be like Saturday night for you to finally see the ball kicked off and another team across the way?
Well, just a special moment. I mean, it's been an unbelievable journey to get here. I mean, just the fact that we're getting a chance to play is a win. I mean, it really is for these guys, for our staff, for all the people involved. It's going to be a special moment for everybody, both teams, both staffs. Obviously, we all want to win, and the scoreboard is lit up for a reason. But, man, I'm going to tell you what, the journey to get to this point has been, one of the greatest challenges of my life, that's for sure. And certainly of these young people's lives. Nobody's ever experienced anything like this. And, but we have found a way to get it done. And we've risen to the occasion. Super proud of the leadership and, again, the character of our team, in coming together. And, these guys have wanted to play. This is what they've been working toward and hoping for and dreaming about. And there was a lot of talk about us not playing. So to get to this point, it's going to be a very special moment when we kick it off.
Coach Trevor Groves, CUTigers.com. I guess you'll release your final availability on Friday, if I understood you correctly. But with ET Reuben, will he be ready to go, or is he still recovering from that injury?
Yeah, we're going to release our availability list on Saturday morning. To be honest with you, we got a test.
Okay.
So we have to test on Friday, and then we have to get those results back. So, we could put out all kind of lists, and it could change tomorrow. We tested today, so who's available may be different tomorrow, and then we test again on Friday, and so who's available then may be different on Saturday. So we'll put out that list Saturday morning, and again, it's just too much to have to keep up with. We certainly release all of our data, publicly from a COVID standpoint. We protect people's names, and we have to share that with the opposing team. That's what the medical, there's not anything that we know everything about their COVID situation at Wake, and they'll know everything about ours. That's what the doctors, they'll handle all that stuff. But as far as who's available, who's not available, we'll also put that all out there Saturday morning, and we'll go play with whoever we got. And it could change. So between right now and Saturday, it could be different. So we are.
But with Reuben was recovering, I think, from a foot or an ankle. Is his?
No, it was his wrist. Recovering from his wrist. So he's back and working, and hopefully he'll be ready to go. If not, hopefully soon.
Dabo, with some of that uncertainty, do you do anything different as far as more guys normally maybe be on scout team, trying to make sure that they're ready? And I think you guys are traveling more people this year, but do you do anything different from a practice standpoint with kind of some of the uncertainty this year?
Well, the biggest thing, and we are, man, that's been a blessing. And all of us coaches really fought hard for that this summer, was to try to get the travel squad to 80. Typically for conference games, we travel 72. So they allowed us to travel 80. That's big, because again, you could get to the site and you could have maybe somebody positive, and you got to quarantine his roommate. In some cases, that you got 2 or 3 or 4 guys that live together, and if you're a roommate, you're pretty much you're close contact. So everything else we've mitigated, so that's what we're dealing with, and hopefully it won't be a major issue. And then what was his question again? I forgot what he asked.
Just do you do anything different from a practice?
Yeah. From a practice standpoint, the biggest thing is we just are repping more guys. So we typically, once we get into our game mode, we really tighten up who we're repping, but we're repping more guys to make sure that guys are ready to play. And that's where we are. So that's probably the similar thing with everybody, just making sure you got extra quarterback, you got, receivers that can. The other thing we're doing is cross-training guys. So receivers being able to play every position, offensive line, cross-training, D tackles being able to play D end, safeties being able to play corner. So there's a lot of things that we have done from a practice standpoint, but the biggest thing is just trying to make sure we do a good job of getting the reps spread out to as many guys as we can.
Dabo, with Lynn Jay's injury and his availability, has Marcus Bowman had a chance to move up in the pecking order coming into Saturday?
No. DeMarcus is kind of where he is. I mean, they're all doing fine. We've got a really good running back room, and Bowman is as advertised. He can fly. He's special. But he's got a lot to learn, at the position. And, Tony is a very, very detailed coach. With Travis and Lynn Jay and Rencher is a big time veteran guy. Malusi has been working his way back from his clavicle thing back. He's been out a long time, but he's getting close. Kobe. So those two freshmen, Kobe and Bowman, they're just kind of, coming along. And Mikey Dukes has had a great camp. So all those guys can play, man. And, you don't get to just go, be the first team guy just because you're a highly recruited guy. They're all highly recruited. But he's working hard and learning every single day.
What are some of the biggest changes that you have on travel day? And, maybe you usually have 6 buses. Do you have 9 now? And,
yep.
What changes as far as the plane flight as well?
Big changes. Really, we've tried to make things as normal as possible, but just major changes, even just like our Friday routine as far as our game prep and how we do our meetings and stuff, that part of it will be the same. And how we, we'll go to the stadium and kind of do what we do there. But all the other stuff's very different. Very, very different. First of all, we have to come and get tested. So that kind of changes your routine on that day. And then way more buses. So I think it is 9. It may be 10 because I think we can only have a max of 17 or 18 per bus. So we have to spend a lot of time in how we seat people on the bus. There's a lot of detail that goes into that. And then we have to mitigate the close contact, the masks, the shields and all that for the buses and the plane. Can't eat on the plane. So there's a lot of changes. And then how we do things at the hotel, for example, all of us coaches and staff, we have to serve our players because we can't have the hotel staff do that right now up there. It's different wherever you go. But so we will serve our players, all their food and snacks and those type of things. So do what we got to do. We won't go to the movie theater up there. We'll create our own movie theater and, make our own popcorn. And so there's just some different logistics and, just a little bit more, work on everybody's part and how we do certain things. But, hey, we're happy to do it. It's what it takes to be able to play.
We'll take one final one for Coach.
Coach, you talked about how accurate BT Potter has been in practice, but we really haven't talked about his backup, Weitz, at all. God forbid BT should get sick or injured. You feel pretty comfortable in Jonathan Weitz should you have to rely on him?
Yeah, well, it's really a battle. It's really Aidan Swanson and Weitz. They're kind of right there together. So, Aidan has really come on as a kicker for us. He's worked really hard at that over the past year, and they're right there neck and neck with each other. Aidan is definitely our second kickoff guy. He's going to be a great kickoff. It's really nice knowing we got a guy like Aidan, behind BT. Aidan's a redshirt freshman, so he's got a powerful leg and has really worked hard on his field goal duties. And obviously he's a punter and excited about his future there, but he's a 3-tool guy for us. And then, Jonathan's gotten better as well. He's gotten stronger. He's more confident, but, doesn't have any game experience. And, but as far as practice, it's Weitz and Aidan. They're kind of right there together. Might be a game time decision, literally. Watch them in pregame, kind of see who we'd run out there second if I had to.